I am a huge fan of the Jurassic Park franchise. It's easily one of my favorite IPs of all time. I think it gets plenty of media coverage, and everyone pretty much agrees that the first three are great, but I honestly think we tend to leave some of the other content out. Don't get me wrong, I think Fallen Kingdom is just okay, and Dominion is so terrible that you should never watch it. But I think Jurassic World builds on the original trilogy's themes and messages brilliantly, with high stakes, excellent action, and really good dinosaur scenes, something you can't really say about the other two. I truly believe Jurassic World is genuinely worthy to stand alongside the likes of the original trilogy. So without further ado, I'll honestly just begin with my favorite bit of the movie. Jurassic World shows us what happens if the park actually opens. InGen has learned from its mistakes and is able to keep the dinosaurs in check long enough to open to the public, and all seems well. Until the Indominus Rex breaks out. The Indom is honestly my favorite dinosaur villain in the entire series. He builds off of the first movie's theme of being a cautionary tale of the pursuit of dangerous sciences, because while yes, they were eventually able to contain the dinosaurs and make a fully fledged theme park, there's always a bigger fish, and science was once again taken too far with the implementation of hybridization.
You are acting like we are engaged in some kind of mad science, but we are doing what we have done from the beginning. Nothing in Jurassic World is natural. We have always filled gaps in the genome with the DNA of other animals. And if their genetic code was pure, many of them would look quite different. But you didn't ask for reality. You asked for more teeth.
I never asked for a monster.
Monster is a relative term. To a canary, a cat is a monster. We're just used to being the cat.
I also love that Indom isn't a weapon like the Indoraptor or Atrociraptors, because let's face it, that's just silly. And it strays from the actual point of the dinosaurs. They aren't weapons, they're theme park attractions. The Indom is the case of a theme park attraction taken way too far, which is just like what we see in the original movie, but to an even greater degree in this one. This thing isn't just an animal, it's a genetically altered monster, killing entirely for the fun of it rather than to survive or protect itself. I'd also like to highlight the visual effects, not just for the Indom, but for all the dinosaurs. Of course, CGI is everywhere nowadays, you pretty much can't make a movie without it, but back in 2015 it wasn't quite what it is now. Even with that said, while it's not nearly as impressive as the stunning practical effects from the first three, I still tend to hold it in high regard alongside other early visually appealing movies such as Pirates of the Caribbean. As previously stated, I think Jurassic World builds off of Jurassic Park's themes perfectly. You could compare it to the original Frankenstein novel by Mary Shelley, telling of the dangerous implications of overambition within science. Just because it can be done doesn't mean it should. Both stories display this perfectly, and while I gravitate to the more harrowing, sorrowful tragedy of Victor Frankenstein, I still love the way it's presented in Jurassic Park. But then Jurassic World comes in and dares to ask, why stop there? A question that is so haunting to imagine resonating within the mind of Dr. Henry Wu as he furthers his work into the creation of genetic amalgamations. Even after seeing the monstrosity that came about with the creation of the Scorpius Rex, he still kept creating these freaks of nature until one was to his liking. The continual ignorance of humanity has led it down this path, and by the time the Indom escapes, there's little they can do but puzzle the foolishness of their own research and invention. The original movie saw InGen have the gall to make such monsters as attractions for entertainment. Diabolical, but again, Jurassic World takes it a step further, with InGen laughing smugly at its past mistakes like they don't matter. They did exactly what they sought out to do. They created a theme park filled with giant reminders of human ambition and stupidity, safely locked behind cages. But with that victory, they were cocky. What? We contained all the other dinosaurs. You think we can't contain one hybrid? No, because the Indominus Rex is a step beyond. No matter what humanity does, overconfidence will always be its strongest attribute and its greatest weakness. Stepping away from the darker tone of that, I honestly don't have a lot to say about the plot, but it stays pretty close to what I've said before in that it kind of just raises the stakes from the first films, which I mean, what more can you ask for in a sequel? But honestly, I think the plot is just badass, and implements the idea of the park being open pretty well. Like, the first movie is, we have to get off the island before we die. The second is, we have to find a way off the island and also capture a dinosaur. And the third is, we have to find a way off the island and also rescue this guy's son.
My phone?
Yeah, your satellite phone. Where is it?
I don't have it.
When did you use it last?
On the plane. I got a call on the plane and
What? What?
I loaned it to Nash. He must have had it when he...
Each movie raises the stakes just a little bit and adds a new element to spice things up. Jurassic World says, well, we can get off the island whenever, but we can't get everyone off, it's an entire theme park. So we just have to kill the damn thing. Which is such an awesome idea for a Jurassic film. It's not about survival or rescue, they have to protect humanity from the monster that's been created. Now, with all that said, there's of course some stuff that I don't really like about these movies. It's modern day Hollywood. Did you really think this film would be Jurassic Park good? Nah, this is more Jurassic Park 3 good, so still pretty solid, but definitely some issues. Firstly, I think what made the first movies as fun as they are were the endearing characters. Without Alan Grant spitting about dinosaurs or Ian Malcolm being goofy, the movies feel a bit too serious, and that's not to say the first movies weren't, but they had comic relief for a reason. The characters in Jurassic World are just very unmemorable. I could not tell you a single defining characteristic of Owen Grady. He is such a blank slate in pretty much all of the movies. If we're being honest here, I'd say the damn dinosaurs have more depth and expression than some of these characters. Another thing I have a problem with is the portrayal of the raptors. One of my favorite things in the original trilogy is the extremely distinct behavior of each raptor pack in the movies. The first movie featured a raptor pack that was sadistic and sociopathic, likely caused by the caging and belittlement they were subjected to by the humans. They wanted to kill for revenge. The second movie saw a raptor pack that was incredibly incompetent and uncoordinated, likely caused by the fact that they didn't grow up in the wild and never got to experience hunting as a pack. They wanted to kill for sustenance. The third movie gave the raptors intelligence, awareness, and most interesting of all, understanding. These raptors had lived a generation on Isla Sorna and were only after our protagonists for the eggs, letting them go afterwards. They didn't want to kill at all. Every pack had a distinct motive and distinct behavior and quirks. The pack in Jurassic World works for the humans. They don't really do much to separate themselves from the other raptors other than switching teams multiple times, which could have been cool, but was a bit underdeveloped and just felt a little dumb for how smart these guys were supposed to be. But despite these problems holding the movie back from the true greatness of Jurassic Park, looking back almost a decade after its release, I think it still manages to represent the series well and succeeds in showing the true horrors of Jurassic Park and what happens when humans do stupid stuff. The Indominus Rex is a great showcase of how no matter what humanity does to precaution, it will always continue to create problem after problem for itself. And he achieves a level of wickedness and cunning never before seen in a dinosaur villain, heightening the stakes and leaving a trail of looming dread all across Isla Nublar. Jurassic World Rebirth worries me a little bit, as its plot synopsis doesn't seem to allude to or feature anything regarding this central theme of the movies. Please, Gareth Edwards, make a movie like this. Or better yet, make a movie like the original 3. Anyways, that's pretty much my overall opinion on the movie. Thank you for watching, and subscribe.
Now eventually you do plan to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour, right? Hello? Hello? Yes?
I really hate that man.